Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers.
Did you know the WNBA just lost 14 million viewers? That's right, games without Caitlin Clark are pulling in only 3 to 4 million fans, while her games were attracting a whopping 17 million. The league's biggest star isn't even playing anymore, and now they're feeling the pain. Let's talk about what's happening in those arenas. When Clark was on the court, it was like a rock concert.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs.
We're talking 17,000 to 18,000 fans packed in, going wild for every move she made. But now, it's a ghost town. Half-empty stadiums with maybe 8,000 to 10,000 people. That's a huge drop. You know what's crazier? Clark isn't even in the WNBA yet. Imagine what happens when she joins. Will every game be sold out? And here's the real question. What about when she's not playing? Will the league just crash and burn without her? The WNBA's future might depend on one player, and that's insane.
However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Fast forward to the present, and the WNBA is facing a harsh reality check. Remember those jam-packed arenas we dreamed about? They're half empty now. What's behind this dramatic turnaround, and is it game over for the league? The WNBA playoffs are in full swing, but something's off. The energy, the excitement, the buzz, it's all fizzled out. We're talking about a league that was riding high on the Caitlin Clark wave, and now it's like someone pulled the plug on the party. Let's break it down. The playoffs should be the hottest ticket in town, right? But instead of sold out arenas, we're seeing empty seats everywhere. It's like night and day compared to when Clark was playing. Remember those games with 17,000 to 18,000 fans going wild?
It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
Now we're lucky if 8,000 to 10,000 show up. That's a massive drop. And it's not just the in-person attendance that's taking a hit. TV viewership, it's plummeted. We're talking about a 14 million viewer difference. That's huge. Games without Clark are only pulling in 3-4 million fans, while her games were attracting a whopping 17 million. It's like the league lost its superstar before she even joined. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The playoff format is under fire, and it's not looking good for teams like the Indiana Fever. The best of 3 series, it's not giving teams enough room to breathe. One bad game, and you're basically out. It's like the WNBA set up a sprinting race when fans were expecting a marathon. Think about it. The Fever, they're up against the Connecticut Sun, a team with tons of playoff experience. In a longer series, the Fever might have a chance to adjust, to learn, to come back. But with this format, it's like throwing them into the deep end and expecting them to outswim Olympic champions. You know what's even crazier? Clark isn't even in the WNBA yet. This whole mess is happening without her. Imagine what it'll be like when she joins. Will every game be a sellout, or will the league crash and burn when she's not playing? Here's the real kicker. The WNBA thought they struck gold with Clark, but now they're realizing she might be fool's gold. They put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket isn't even in the league yet. It's like they're trying to cash a check that hasn't been written. Now you might be thinking, sure, Clark's got fans, but can she actually play? Well, let me tell you about a little thing called court vision. This rookie's got eyes in the back of her head, and her teammates are eating it up. Clark's impact on the WNBA isn't just about filling seats or racking up views, it's about changing the game itself. Remember those all-star voting numbers we talked about? Clark didn't just break records, she obliterated them. We're talking over 700,000 votes for Clark compared to Asia Wilson's nearly 100,000 the year before. That's not just a win, that's a landslide victory. But here's where it gets really wild. Clark's not just a scoring machine, she's a team player through and through. Her court vision is off the charts. She's finding teammates in spots they didn't even know they were open. The Indiana Fever, they're suddenly winning games they had no business winning, all because Clark can thread a needle from half court. And let's talk about those jaw-dropping moments. Every game, Clark's pulling off moves that leave commentators speechless. It's like watching a highlight reel in real time. Fans aren't just showing up to watch a game anymore. They're coming to see a show. But it's not just hardcore basketball fans who are taking notice. Clark's bringing in a whole new crowd. People who've never watched a WNBA game in their lives are suddenly tuning in. It's like she's got this magnetic pull that's dragging in viewers from all walks of life. The media's going crazy for her too. They're calling her a generational talent, and for once, it doesn't feel like hype. Clark's got the skills to back it up. She's not just the face of her team, she's becoming the face of the entire league. Now, here's where things get tricky. Clark's decided to take a 200-day break after the playoffs. That's right, 200 days without the WNBA's biggest star. The league's sweating bullets, wondering how they're going to keep the momentum going without her. It's like they've caught lightning in a bottle, but now they've got to figure out how to keep the electricity flowing when the storm's passed. Can they do it, or is the WNBA going to find itself right back where it started? So the WNBA's got a superstar. Great. But now they're staring down a crazy problem. How do you keep fans excited when your biggest draw isn't even playing? The answer might shock you. The WNBA's riding high on the Caitlin Clark wave, but there's trouble brewing. Remember those packed arenas and sky-high viewership numbers? Well, they're about to hit a major speed bump. Clark's taking a 200-day break after the playoffs, and the league's scrambling to figure out what to do next. Here's the thing. The WNBA can't just sit around waiting for Clark to come back. They need to shake things up, and fast. But how? Well, it turns out the answer isn't finding another superstar. It's about making the whole league exciting, even when the big names aren't on the court. Think about it. The playoff format's already causing headaches. Teams like the Indiana Fever are getting knocked out faster than you can say buzzer beater. It's like the league set up a sprint when fans were expecting a marathon. That's not good for building drama or giving teams a chance to bounce back. But here's where it gets really wild. The WNBA's seen a 400% jump in viewership thanks to Clark. That's huge. But it's also dangerous. What happens when she's not playing? The league can't afford to lose all those new fans they just gained. So, what's the game plan? The WNBA needs to get creative. They can't just rely on one player to carry the whole league. They need to make every game feel like a must-watch event, no matter who's on the court. Maybe it's time to shake up the playoff format, give teams more chances to fight back. Or how about some new ways to engage fans during the off-season? The league's got to keep that excitement going, even when the balls aren't bouncing. And let's talk about the other players. The WNBA is full of incredible talent, but they're not getting the spotlight they deserve. It's time to start showcasing all these amazing athletes, not just the headline grabbers. The real challenge for the WNBA isn't finding the next Caitlin Clark. It's building a league that's exciting with or without her. They need to create a whole experience that keeps fans coming back, game after game, season after season. It's a tall order, but the potential's there. The WNBA's got a chance to transform itself into something bigger than any one player. They just need to take that leap. All right, let's talk about the WNBA's big problem. They've been riding high on the Caitlin Clark wave, but now they're in deep trouble. The league's put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket's not even in the league yet. Here's the deal. The WNBA can't just sit around waiting for Clark to save them. They need to make some serious changes, and fast. It's not about finding another superstar. It's about making the whole league exciting, even when the big names aren't playing. The real challenge isn't on the court anymore. It's in the boardroom. The WNBA needs to get creative, shake things up, and find ways to keep fans hooked all year round. They've got to showcase all their amazing talent, not just one player. Time's running out. The WNBA's got to make its next move, and it better be a good one. The future of the league depends on it.